Hi there YouTubers, it's Platt, and I hope you're feeling a little silly today because I do. Today I'm going to show you how to make Krunk Drunk Kool Aid. So let's go. The longer I homebrew and bartend, the more ideas I come up for different alcoholic beverages and cocktails and what have you. Some of them I like to think are pretty good, and some, well, just quite silly. And this is one of those. I've always thought it'd be a neat idea to make some kind of Kool-Aid themed beverage for adults, and that's what we're going to do today. Making Krunk Drunk Kool Aid. Pretty simple. All you really need is some Kool-Aid, naturally, some sugar, a little bit of water, and a fermenter. Well, let's get going on this. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is bring 4 cups of water to a boil. Once it boils, I'm going to turn off the heat and I'm going to add 3.5 cups of sugar. Be sure to stir it in thoroughly so we get a clear solution once the sugar is all absorbed. After that, I'm going to transfer it into our fermenter. Well, I've taken our sugary solution, I put it in the fermenter, and then added cold water to bring the temperature down to where we're getting ready to pitch our yeast. Now, let me talk about the yeast real quick. It's real easy to just take some bread yeast and throw in there, but you're going to taste the difference. You could use a champagne yeast or a turbo yeast if you like. I'm just going to use a nice clean dry ale yeast, Sapphire USO5. You can find on various websites, Mr. Beer, Northern Brewer, what have you. I'm going to pitch this. Now, I'm not going to add our Kool-Aid just yet. And there may be some of you wondering, well, why don't I just add some sugar to Kool-Aid and ferment that? Well, there's a lot of additives and preservatives in the Kool-Aid packets and the Kool-Aid you buy at the store, and it just doesn't work well with the yeast. So we're going to ferment this sugary solution, and then when we're done with the fermentation process, then we'll add the flavor. Well, I'm going to go ahead and pitch this, and then we're going to let this sit for about a week. Then I'm going to rack it into a secondary fermenter. I don't want this sitting on the yeast too long because, again, you're trying to make a sweet, fun little drink, and you want the yeast flavor carrying over too much. Well, let me get to work, and we'll get to the next step. Well, it's been a little over a week, and I've racked our solution from our primary fermenter into our secondary fermenter. Now, if you do this little experiment, one of the first things you're going to notice is all the CO2 and the carbonation in the fermenter. Unlike beer and wine and cider, there's actually a lot of carbonation in the fermenter. You almost don't have to carbonate and bottle. That's why I'm telling you this, because if you decide you want to bottle and carbonate this, you could have a few bottle bombs, and trust me, you do not want that. I've had plenty in my time. Now, what I'm going to do is let this ferment out for another day or two, then I'm going to throw this in my refrigerator and do what they call cold crashing. The temperature is going to pretty much halt fermentation and the yeast will settle down. That helps clear this solution a little bit, and again also prevents the bottle bomb issue. I want to talk about something real quick that'll help you with preventing overcarbonation. It's something called potassium sorbate. Now, it doesn't stop fermentation, but let's say we cold crash this and then we do want to bottle it but not carbonate it. Well, I throw a little bit of this in the solution and it helps prevent reactivation of the yeast when we get back into a room temperature or warmer climate. So this is something you might want to try if you ever want to tweak the fermentation process. So like I said, I'm going to throw this in the fridge here in a couple days. And then after that, when I know I've controlled the fermentation, then I'll add my Kool-Aid and we'll be ready to drink. So we've had our sugar solution in the fridge for the last couple of days, and you can probably see it's kind of cleared up a little bit, still murky. You also probably will notice that there's still a lot of carbonation left in there. So when we're done adding our Kool-Aid, if you want a bottle, be careful. Don't try to carbonate because you'll get bottle bombs. Now, what I'm going to do actually with this is I've got one of these tea dispensers, and I'm just going to take my Kool-Aid and add to it, and just serve straight from there. Now, each one of these packets is good for 2 quarts, so we got a gallon container. So normally you use 2, but I'm going to use 3. I want to mask whatever yeast taste I got in there, and I kind of want to make a really cherry-licious Krunk Drunk Kool Aid. So let me add the Kool-Aid. And the great part about this is there's so many varieties and flavors of Kool-Aid. Ooh, getting a little bubbling there. Make sure you leave a little headspace for this operation. All right. And one more packet. Alrighty, and we're going to give her a stir, but like I said, we have a lot of carbonation here, so you don't want to over stir. Now, one question you may be asking is, how much alcohol is in this? Well, because of the carbonation, we run into a little problem doing a hydrometer reading. The carbonation actually keeps the hydrometer afloat, and you don't get an accurate measurement. But doing some just base calculations and a little guessing, we're probably around 7 to 8% alcohol by volume in this. So we're going to stir this up. It looks like we got a pretty good color here. Alright, let me throw this away. We're going to take our trusty shot glass. Let's give her a little try. Oh, kids, I think that'll work. Now, you could serve this over ice like drinking regular Kool-Aid, but I think what I'm going to do with this is actually use it as a base for cocktails. Maybe add lemon lime soda, or my favorite energy drink with some sort of flavored vodka. This is cherry Kool-Aid, but we may do like a raspberry vodka, cherry Kool-Aid, lemon lime soda, or maybe a mandarin vodka. A lot of possibilities. Again, ton of different flavors you could do with the Kool-Aid, but also a ton of varieties of different soft drinks and different vodkas, rums, what have you. So experiment with this. This is real cheap to make. We just had 3 cups of sugar in it, water, and some Kool-Aid, probably a couple of bucks in it. And it's a great base for different cocktails or just something to drink on a warm afternoon. Well, I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please subscribe down below. And as usual, if you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comment section or contact me on Twitter. Well, until next time, bye-bye.